Star Wars just released their official trailer for The Acolyte with a 2-episode premiere this June. Today, I'll walk you through each second of the trailer to point out everything you may have missed. Alright, let's get started. For the first 10 seconds, we start off with seeing Jedi younglings meditate inside the Jedi Temple on what appears to be Coruscant. Now, you'll initially be wondering, I thought the Jedi were defeated by Anakin Skywalker, who became Darth Vader, blah 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 blah. Well, that's because the Acolyte is supposed to take place during the High Republic era of the Star Wars lore. This is hundreds of years before the events of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. We can infer this from the rustic look of the structure of the Jedi Temple, whereas in Star Wars Attack of the Clones, we see pretty much the same room looking much more modern and polished, already creating the mindset that these events take place years before Anakin Skywalker was born. I may be looking too far into this, but I find it interesting how the Jedi Master speaking says, "Your eyes deceive you, do not trust them." This would have been great advice for future Jedi when Chancellor Palpatine taking over the Senate and creating his empire, all while under the Jedi's noses. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. 17 seconds into the trailer, we see what appears to be the show's main antagonist entering into a village. The surrounding architecture doesn't lead me to think us as fans have encountered this planet before. Again, given that this is hundreds of years in the past from an era we have seen many times, it could be a planet we already know, but nothing clearly indicates it from the trailer. If you know this planet, let me know in the comments. We then cut back to the Jedi Temple, which confirms that this is Coruscant by looking at the skyscrapers in the background. We also get to see Lee Jung-jae as Jedi Master, training the younglings and leading them in their meditation. Also, may I add that the costumes look fantastic, definitely taking from the book covers of the High Republic that have been released over the last few years. The trailer then cuts back to our antagonist entering a building through some sliding doors, clearly indicating that she is looking for someone to either meet or target on this planet. Not much to add here other than that the inhabitants of the planet are also enjoying a meal, making this place out to be a local eatery. Cutting back to the younglings, we hear each of them say what they are seeing through the Force, but I want to take a second to point out that the Jedi Master in the background that has more of a green skin tone. Looking through the book covers of the High Republic, this character could be the same one from the Out of the Shadows book cover, but I couldn't find her name, but I also can't be sure if this is the same character in the trailer. After the younglings take turns with each thing they see through the Force, we can see a female Jedi cloaked in the restaurant. This is Carrie Ann Moss's character. The trailer immediately cuts to her fighting the antagonist in hand-to-hand combat. You'll notice this in other parts of the trailer, but it seems the Jedi of the High Republic look to avoid using their lightsabers and rely on the Force and martial art techniques to combat their enemies. Despite her opponent having a knife, Carrie Ann Moss is able to easily block and dodge her attacks before pushing her back with a force push. Shortly after, we get our first glimpses of a lightsaber, and it's yellow. Those that have read the books and know of deep Star Wars history know that yellow lightsabers were more common than the First Order era. We've only seen Rey have a yellow lightsaber on the big screen, but now we will get some more Jedi wielding a yellow blade. We are then introduced to Charlie Barnett's Jedi, who was wielding the yellow lightsaber in the scene before, standing in a forest trying to uncover how someone is killing Jedi. For context, the Sith are believed to be in hiding during the High Republic as they haven't been seen for many years. However, during this time, there's a group of mercenaries and rogue agents that call themselves the Nihil. These marauders have an anarchist belief that they should be able to do whatever they want and disregard the laws set by the Republic. I would like to have them play some of a role in the series, as they have some pretty cool weapons to fight the Jedi. Closing in on the 1-minute mark of the trailer, we get a Wookiee. If you look closely, this Wookiee is wearing what appears to be Jedi robes, just like the one from the High Republic book covers. I think it will be awesome to see a Force-sensitive Jedi Wookiee, knowing the raw strength that these furry creatures also possess. We then cut back to Lee Jung-jae's character, getting information from a witness who clearly saw something that they won't forget, in a bad way. This doesn't appear to be a Jedi mind trick, but more so a tactic just to calm the man's mind so he can retell his story as clearly as possible. We then get a view of a palace on the edge of a cliff with a starship approaching in. I'm getting some Naboo vibes from this, even though it definitely does not look like the Theed Palace from The Phantom Menace. The trailer then cuts back to our antagonist now in hand-to-hand altercation with Lee Jung-jae, who doesn't seem at all fazed by her attacks. What a beast. blocking both a kick and the antagonist having that oh shoot look on her face. This guy seems like one we don't want to mess with. I only hope that Disney does not write him off too quickly. We then get a solo shot of the Jedi Master that we saw in the background earlier entering into a sealed room, which could be the Jedi Younglings room from the beginning of the trailer. Then we are introduced to Manny Jacinto's character, who doesn't look to be a Jedi, but could very well be a Jedi in hiding, not wanting to face whatever enemy they are dealing with. One of my favorite shots from the trailer follows as it is a whole group of Jedi, seemingly high ranking, with the minimum rank being that of a Jedi Knight. Not to mention again that we got our Wookiee Jedi looking like he's ready to fight, looking like he's ready to throw hands. We then cut back to Carrie-Anne Moss stopping the fight that we saw in the opening of the trailer, using her force powers to stop the attacker right where she stood. I love how this trailer is clearly establishing how powerful the Jedi are in this era, well trained in the Force and hand-to-hand combat without relying too heavily on their lightsabers. Up next is Jodie Turner-Smith's character, wearing elegant robes that indicate her leadership status in this town, surrounded by her followers that look to be admiring her presence. The trailer cuts to a child running through a forest that has been set ablaze. This does appear to be the same forest that we saw Charlie Barnett earlier in the trailer, which makes me think that this will be one of the major fight scenes for an episode. Who the child is that we see running is something that I do not know and can't make out from this trailer. Next, we have a starship crash land into an icy mountain planet with Lee Jung-jae and company looking to find it. This ship does have a similar shape to the Jedi starfighters we saw during the opening scene of Revenge of the Sith, so it could be a Jedi transport. We then cut back to Jodie Turner-Smith's character saying this is about power. I think this is clearly implying that we are going to get some involvement from the Sith and the Nihil, since both factions are notoriously known for seeking unlimited power. We then get our first glimpses of who could be the larger villain at play. Unfortunately, this character is too far for us to know any specific details, but the outfit is that of a Sith with the dark colored robes. Also, looking at the surrounding ocean and rock patterns, I'm seeing a lot of similarities to that of Ahch-To, a planet that Luke Skywalker went to hide on after Ben Solo became Kylo Ren. There was only one major island on that planet, where there seems to be two on this planet, but this is hundreds of years before those events that the other island would have sunk by the time Luke found that place. To finish off the trailer, we see a red lightsaber come flying in, slicing down trees. Now, this may seem like nothing, but the lightsaber throw is a technique that we've only seen members of the Sith use, such as Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi. This is enough to convince me that some Dark Lord will appear in the Acolyte, but it won't be any of the ones we already know, like Darth Sidious, Darth Vader, or Darth Maul. The final scene has all of the Jedi activate their lightsabers, where we see yellow, green, and blue colors charging in to fight this mysterious enemy who clearly demonstrates their force powers by slamming everyone back in a powerful blast. Now, if you remember playing the Force Unleashed games, Starkiller had a similar power with being able to create a powerful force blast, knocking everyone back, sometimes incinerating the ones close to him. I don't think this usage will be that powerful, but there are definitely some similarities here. And that wraps up the trailer. Let me know if you caught on anything that I might have missed in the comments section down below. Until then, have a great rest of your day, wherever you may be.